Well, welcome to another edition of the Digice Sports Show right here on Islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Basin, and joining me yet again is Jason Juggling J. Ford. Jay, we have some interesting topics today. Number one, the under-17 women's national football team going into their second match later tonight. News over the last night and this morning, Glasgow Rangers have sparked some interest in the Key Wells. We have the Cricket Players of the Week award, a tennis tournament coming up.
Stop. Before we go any further,
Yeah.
let's get some messages from our sponsor.
Bermuda, listen up. D-Music is here exclusively for Digice customers. Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free. With D-Music, you can easily search for your favorite artists and create playlists to fit your lifestyle. Plus, you have the option to download music to your device so you can find a song for any moment, even when offline. D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
The under-17 women's national team opened their qualifiers in St. Lucia on Tuesday night, taking on the host. People say, why would the strongest two teams play each other first? Clear and simple. The hosts always want to take on the toughest team first and try to catch them cold. Unfortunately for St. Lucia, it didn't work in their favor. Bermuda won 3-0, jumped out to a 2-0 lead very early in the match. Got that third goal and kind of dictated from there, as Coach Nikita Robinson said, and she talked to me yesterday about the physicality of the St. Lucian players. The match got very physical at times, but she commended the officials for keeping things in order to ensure that none of the players were actually injured throughout the match. But your thoughts on a 3-0 win, first game out of the bat, and later tonight they play Antigua and Barbuda?
Well, listening to Coach Robinson prior to the tournament, she was very confident, and she set the expectations high.
She put a lot of pressure on
She did. And we normally don't get to hear that from our national teams. We expect them to do good.
Right.
Hope for the best. Whatever happens, wherever the chips fall.
Yep.
But she's put on pressure and said, look, we're going to win this. So in saying that, that's no surprise what we did.
Right.
If we're paying attention to Coach Robinson, she would know our players obviously a lot better than we were.
Right.
And she's not one just to put stuff in the media just because.
Right.
This group of ladies that have been together now for a little while.
Yes. Yeah.
And they've been quite successful. And sometimes, winning becomes a habit.
Yes. Yeah.
Also losing becomes a habit
Yes,
too.
it does.
But winning becomes a habit. And these girls, they know from the hard work they have to put in, they've had a taste of success.
Yes.
And they know it's been because of the hard work. So she'd be the first to tell you, these girls are not scared to schedule their own workouts.
Right.
To do the extras, to do the extra hard work, because they know they'll get some success out of it. So that might surprise, but I'm really proud because these girls continue to impress me.
Well, let's get the interview with Coach Nikita Robinson after the 3-0 win over St. Lucia.
Started with high pressure. We forced them back in the half for most of the game. We got the early goal, which was OG. It was well worked on the left side by Leilani, who cut in and took a shot in with her left foot, and it kind of skimmed off the girl. So that's a lucky break, where we take them. And then 3 minutes later, Leilani picked up the ball in the middle and, drew straight down the middle and just took a shot, and it kind of just slipped underneath the goalkeeper. Overall, the girls, were in a good spirit, in a high energy mood from the whistle. And I have to give it to St. Lucia. They brought a very physical game to us. So, technically we were head and shoulders above them, but they, physically they were first to the ball. They won the ball. Even if we were first to the ball, a lot of times they took it from us. So it's part of our game that we have to improve moving forward. We our front six, press and press and press for the girls. Defensively, I think we were sound, and in fairness to our defense, we've had to put it together because we, were some players weren't available, so we had to put together a defense that was going to be able to work well together. And I think they did. We played Koa, who's usually on the right side. We had to play a left back. Danny, who's usually our left back, we had to play her center back. So it was a bit difficult at times. St. Lucia have a number 7 who's really fast. But although Koa was uncomfortable on that side, she didn't allow her to play. She kept out of the game, and that was a big difference because I think had she got in behind a few times, Koa's just got that speed and determination and fights. So it was excellent to see. It was great to see Lindsay, who played with some composure, being her first international match. Naturally, our attacking press with Nia Christopher, Jada Masters, Leilani, they put St. Lucia under pressure at times. Just unfortunately couldn't find the back of the net, either going wide or picking to pass instead of shoot. But that's all part of the game, decision making. We scored 3 goals in the first half. Second half, we scored none. They changed their playing style. They kind of just sat back and let us come at them, and then, kind of hope for our mistakes or aerial balls. We were trying the aerial ball. They were in them. They were strong in the air. They were taller and a little bit bigger. So we got the result. Winning the first game is important. We got 2 more. Antigua coming off of a win. I don't think they expected it based on their reaction at the end of the game. So we are going to have to regroup and go hard again on Thursday. Can't take anything for granted. If I'm honest, looking at the 2, Aruba and Antigua, Coach Vance and myself went early and watched the game. We will take them. We will beat them. It won't be easy. But I think that tonight was our toughest opposition, and that we got the result that we needed from this match. The girls, they're happy. They know that we have to improve, but they're pumped and excited and ready for the next match so that they can show what they're really made of. First games are always nervous. You gotta get the nerves out of the way. We're playing in front of the home. They had a small crowd behind them, and they made noise. But our girls actually, worked through a lot of that, and the officiating was fantastic. I think they did a really, really good job. Kept the game in control. And it was fair play all the way around. So I'm excited. I can't wait for Thursday, and hopefully, we get another good victory, and a big victory, so that we can send a message down to those who we will see in Haiti in October.
Bermuda, listen up. D-Music is here exclusively for Digice customers. Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free. With D-Music, you can easily search for your favorite artists and create playlists to fit your lifestyle. Plus, you have the option to download music to your device so you can find a song for any moment, even when offline. D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
Jay, I know I sparked your interest when I said there was some activity abound across the border from England into Scotland with the possibility of Glasgow Rangers looking at the possibilities of taking on the Key Vals. There were a few years ago when their neighbours, Glasgow Celtic, there was speculation around that they were looking at McKee before he went to Huddersfield. Now to know that Glasgow Rangers could be knocking on the door. They're a 6-1 favorite. Options are there for Nikki and his agent as well as Huddersfield. he could end up in many places. Primarily, if he stays in England, it looks like the championship he'll be in. If he leaves Huddersfield, it looks like he'll be in the championship, because you have Newcastle, you have Wolves, you have Reading, you have a bunch of teams that are
have shown interest before,
And the good thing for them is that the season's just started. So even though he's going to miss 4 more weeks, he can get in, and once he starts that physical training with them, by the time he's ready to play, he would have an understanding of their system and their players.
Yeah, I mean, you said it all just now. I mean, to have that understanding, but first things first, he's got to get fit.
Yeah.
And once he gets fit, then I think even more doors will open up. Or the pressure to get him out of Huddersfield will even increase.
Yeah.
We have the faith, and we talked about it before, we have the faith that he loves the challenge. So we know he'll be up to the challenge.
Yeah.
The Scottish League, for me, is going through its paces over the last 5-6 years. At one point in time, they financially they was in a lot of trouble. The league itself, a couple of teams itself.
Well, you saw Glasgow Rangers have to be sent down to the bottom division because of financial issues. They've worked their way right back up. And they're in better standing now, and looking to stake a claim. Last year they finished second, well behind Glasgow Celtic, who have dominated since Rangers were out. But now things ain't their own way. There's been a struggle. There's been a challenge for them, and many will see if indeed he went to Glasgow Rangers, the opportunity to play in Europe becomes that far greater.
Well, that's the other thing. You'll also be able to play in Europe.
Right.
Because they are allowed to play within the Championship and the European and the likes. So you still get that exposure. Right. Watching a bit of Scottish League over the last few years is a bit different, and I think it actually suits his game. You know, because with the English Premier or even Championship, is so built on the winning side of not lose. I should say not losing. Right. Not losing. Where the Scottish, they just want to win. Yeah. So it's all out flowing football. Right. Whereas a lot of times in English or Championship, we're just gonna
pack the defense.
And you gotta break us down.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really suit his game.
No. Not at all.
He needs to run the channels, run the wings, roll off for guys, and the whole nine. So hopefully, once again, he gets fit. And for me, I'm more concerned about the psychological aspect of the injury. Right. Because once again, it's an ankle.
Right. Well, it wasn't. The injury was due to the fact that the screws were coming loose, so they took them out.
Well, when I say the ankle, you still got people nipping at your ankles.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And if you know you got a little knock there,
right?
How does this feel?
Right. And he's a person that's very dependent on the speed. And you as a defender, back in the day, what the first thing you do?
Oh yeah, you have a little knock
to slow him down.
Yeah, sure.
So the psychological side of it, and you've seen players be gimpy, jump. The anxiety kicks in. I'm not going to go into a so all these different things. So until I get to see him go into a tackle.
I mean, he said that the thing was, if you can recall, when he did have that operation in his first couple of games back, he was asked because they could see him a little bit timid of it. And it wasn't until, I think, his third game that I guess the ball was there. He didn't even think of it. He went into the tackle and he went through it. And he was asked after the game about riding the tackle. And he was like, oh, I didn't even remember doing that. But since then, he's just been afloat.
That's the point that he has to get to. And once he gets to that point, then I'm got full confidence behind him.
Well, Jay, your speed on the track is back. But she's getting ready to leave.
Pink
Hurricane. Jessica Lewis has spent most of the month of August in Bermuda with family, friends, just relaxing. She's got a new challenge now. She becomes a working woman, going through to finish her education. She has to do this work assignment, and she'll be working for 3 months in the field in which her profession wants to be in. But she's also training. She's also looking forward to 2020. She set out a plan. Her and Ken set out a 4-year plan that's going to take them right through to Tokyo, and then Obviously, I got a chance to talk to her about the challenge of now balancing work, because school's a little different. Because school, you kind of manage your time and you can get off for training. When it's work, your boss don't want to.
Different story.
So let's get the interview with Jason's Pink Hurricane. Well, Jessica, summer's over, but during your summer, you took part at the Para World Championships. Obviously not the results you were looking for overall, but the overall experience for you, what would you put it down to?
It was absolutely amazing to be there. I was a little disappointed not to make the podium, but I had a couple personal best times and some season's best, so you can't really go wrong with that. And just being back in London and in the same stadium as 2012 was amazing. Yeah.
Now, as I said at the beginning, summer's over. Back to work. Well, for you, now you become a working lady. What do you think, how does that change your training regime? What will you be doing in that working environment? And how do you plan to manage both now, the working world and professional world of an athlete?
So I start my internship on the 6th of September, and it goes until December, and it's just my final requirement for my degree, so I'll graduate next year. So I'm kind of just having to train really late at nights now, and there will be a day that I do a night shift, so I'll be training in the morning that day. So it's kind of just trying to fit it all around there, and yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Now, have you been talking to others about how you're going to have to be able to balance this? Because for athletes, it's a big challenge. I mean, school and an athlete is hard. Now it's working and an athlete. Does that change much?
I don't think so. Like, I had a lot of practice being at Brock, kind of trying to balance it, and traveling as well to different competitions during the school year. So I think I'm okay with time management. But my supervisor at the internship, she's really awesome, and she said she'll help around my schedule as well. So it'd be great.
To the athletic side, obviously your focus would be 2020, but the lead up to that is quite a. Have you and Ken sat down and talked about your plan for the upcoming years and how you plan to strategize leading into the Paralympics in 2020?
Yeah, definitely. We always set out a 4-year plan between the games. So next year is kind of an off year for us. There's not really a huge competition. So we'll kind of be just doing local meets in Canada and the States in order to get standards for 2019, because that'll be a big year. We have Para Pan Am, which will be in Lima, Peru, and then we also have World Championships again. Not really sure where that is yet, and then Tokyo in 2020.
For you, getting around the events in Canada, being around some of your friends as well, but when looking back at the event in Bermuda, how special was that? 'Cause we never really got a chance to chat after that, but being home in front of Bermuda, pulling off the win, how special was that for you?
It was, I can't even describe how amazing it was. I have goosebumps just thinking about it. It was so incredible. And I was at the track this morning, which was the first time I've been on it since then. And I just had so many great memories, and I could hear the crowd, and I was just like, this is great. Yeah, I had a wonderful time.
Now, I remember in our earlier conversations, you were talking about your experience of going to the 2008 Paralympics just to see what it was like. You got that opportunity to be in the 2012, 2016. What would be your most memorable moment, putting those two events, the 12 and 16, and the event in Bermuda? Which one would be super special?
Oh, I think Bermuda. It's just so awesome to be in front of everybody that's so supportive of me, and just to be able to share wheelchair racing with Bermuda has been phenomenal, and for them to see it live. Yeah.
Talking with Ken again, what are some of the events you're looking to do? Because you were talking about longer distances leading into at the tail end of last season. Now we're going into a new season. Is he still on that long haul track of 8s to 15s? I know you still got a half marathon you're looking to do and so forth.
Yeah, he kind of is, but not really, because we've kind of given up on the 15 because that's pretty tough. I'll still be doing the 8s just to help as well with my 400. We know that those aren't really my stronger events, but we do it to help the shorter races as well. And then we'll hopefully be doing the half marathon again in Niagara Falls this year in October. Yeah.
When you look around at your competition and the times that the other girls are doing, and you're planning or strategizing how you're going to make yourself a little faster, are those times reachable as far as getting up closer to some of those girls? Because you've made vast improvements over the last 4 years, but are those times reachable?
I think so. I mean, it's going to take a lot of weight training for me to get more power and stuff. It is a little bit more difficult. Ken and I have talked about it, just because a lot of the other girls are acquired injuries. So they all have the makeup of an able-bodied body, basically. So they have all the right muscles and they have the mass in order to put the muscle on. Whereas I was born with my disability, so my frame is a lot smaller than the other girls, so it will be harder to get that kind of mass, but I definitely think that I can get stronger, and this is still going to be better.
Well, when the parapans come up again, the axe is on your back. Yep. For that 100. How much drive does that keep you going to make sure that you get on that podium in, I think it's 2 years' time?
Yeah, 2019. I'm so excited to go back there. I just can't wait. And when I go to some races and I'm competing against everybody in the world, we're kind of looking at who the American athletes are or from the Americas. And I've been ahead of them still. So I'm like, so hopefully it'll keep going and I'll get stronger as well. And hopefully in other events I'll be on the podium, I'm hoping.
Okay. Well, good luck in your intern. Good luck in your training. And we'll talk to you around Christmas time to see how you're progressing.
Thanks.
Jay, 2 youngsters, one an Olympian, the other a brother that's chopping at her knees and her ankles to be by her side and work with her and try to make her better. We're talking about Cece and Mikey Woolman. They'll be off on Tuesday, heading to the NACRA World Championships. They just recently competed in in Denmark. Mm-hmm. Finishing 8th or 9th overall, beating a former medalist at the Olympics, so they were happy about that. Mm-hmm. But I got a chance to talk to them prior to them heading out next Tuesday. Here's the interview with Cece and Mikey Woolman. Well, Cece and Mikey off to the Worlds next week. Coming off of your performance in Denmark, how does that set you up for the next challenge?
Well, we were pretty happy with how we did in Denmark. There was a lot of the top guys there, so it was nice to see that we were able to hang up with them. In some races, we were able to beat them. In France, it'll be at the Worlds. It'll be a bigger fleet, so that'll be different for us. So that'll be new.
Is it quite challenging being on the line with more boats? Can get congested at times.
Yeah, just like everywhere around the race course, I guess it'll be interesting to have more boats on the start line, more boats around all the marks and stuff. So.
Mikey, how much drive are you giving your sister to get her to get the boat moving a lot faster?
Yeah, I'd say I'd push my sister pretty hard at the start. She sometimes says I push her too hard, but I don't know, I just want to do as good as we can. So.
How has practicing been going both here and abroad to lead up to the championship?
Well, we've definitely been trying to get out as much as we can out here. It's kind of hard because I'm working at our JDC all day, but on the weekends we try and go out for practices, and it's tough because we just got the foiling boat away, so not many teams have practiced in the foiling boat, but we're really lacking because we don't have one here in Bermuda.
Now, the last day in Denmark, racing was canceled because there was a recall of these boats. How much of an adjustment do you think you guys are going to have to make once all this is corrected?
I don't think it'll be too much of an issue, like a difference in the sailing. Hopefully the boards will just last longer, not break as easily and stuff like that. I think the big thing was just the time that people had to spend away where they weren't able to sail the boat because of the problems. So we were quite lucky we were coming home anyways. So we have our new part shipped to France and we're ready to put it in the boat and test it out.
How's the fitness going for both of you? Because fitness is one of the major things to help you concentrate for long periods of time.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite different for both of us. Mikey is the muscles on the boat, basically. So, yeah. So, but we both have to do our fair share of stuff, and we work out quite a bit and go for runs and stuff like that, so.
Now, Mikey, you said you're quite hard on it at the start. What about throughout the race?
Yeah, I feel like throughout the race she pushes me a lot harder, and I'm at the start.
Okay.
So.
So, if all goes well, how are you looking to compete over in France?
We're really not quite sure yet. The NACRA fleet is so new. They've only had 2 regattas in the foiling NACRA right now, so this will be the 3rd one, and it'll be the biggest fleet that they've had. I think there's like 50 boats signed up at the moment. So I guess we're just going to look and see how the racing format ends up and see how we do after the first day and try and improve after that.
How many races are scheduled for each day? Because you had 2 each day in Denmark. Is it similar to that?
Yeah, we have 3 each day. So we had 3 in Denmark each day and 3 in France as well.
How much of a challenge is it all day out there? You're racing. These things are pretty fast, physical. Conditions might be like this one day, but then blowing a gale the next day. Because last night I watched you guys get the start at the Wednesday night sailing, and then talking to Mikey earlier, he said the wind dropped right out. So it's a bit of a struggle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little hard switching it up sometimes and stuff like that, but it's just part of sailing. What makes it interesting. So.
Mikey, you switched to this boat to try and sail with your sister, which is a big thing. How have you adjusted?
Well, it's a lot different physically to the boats I've been sailing previously. It's a lot more upper body strength compared to my lower body. So I've had to adjust that quite a lot, and also just getting the teamwork side of things down. It's been a difficult challenge, but it's a good one.
How has the relationship built over this period? Because now you're spending more time with each other. Obviously siblings and all, but you're spending more time at the dinner table, you're spending more time just you two kind of thing. So how has that kind of bonded you two together?
Well,
We definitely try and bond together quite a lot, but we also like to take our time apart from each other. So
it's still early on, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, we want to wish you both good luck. We'll be looking out because you leave on Tuesday. When does the sailing start?
The sailing starts on the 5th, I think, of September.
Okay, so we'll be looking out for the results and all the best, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free with D-Music, exclusively from Digice. With D-Music, you can stream and download songs and create playlists of your favorite artists to fit your lifestyle. Whether you're working out at the gym, getting ready for a Friday night, or just chilling at home, D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
Your sport, tennis.
Oh, yes. Always ends in love.
That's a good way to look at it. This one is a senior loves tournament.
Okay.
Pomanda Gates, starting September 2nd. Tournament organizer David Thomas. Got a chance to speak with him about what they're looking for this year in this year's tournament. It's always interesting to see the seniors play. The game is a
bit slower.
Yes, a bit slower.
You can say that.
But it becomes a little more technical too.
Yes.
And you can, because remember, if I can't move fast, I've got to beat you on angles.
Okay.
So that's where the technical part comes in.
I thought let me just get it over the net.
Well, that's the other technical part.
Hope and pray they can't get it.
Well,
because I'm not gonna get back to you.
But it's good to watch seniors play because you get to see things develop a lot slower than the youngsters play because they're rushing around.
I tell you, I do believe it was at Coral Beach.
Yes.
And we watched was a Masters.
Yes.
And it's amazing because their mind is at a whole nother speed.
Yep.
What they want to do, how they want to hit this ball, the angle they want to play, the positioning.
Yeah.
And the body's just about 2 gears behind trying to catch up.
If I could only just.
But like you said, you got to think about it. It's the same for the other person on the other side of the net.
Yeah.
So that's the battle that they go through.
Who could change gears fastest?
Or last.
Well, let's get the interview with David Thomas from Pomanda Gates. Well, the Pomanda Gates will be hosting a tournament of a different flavor of such, martini, Bacardi. But you're looking to emphasize on players, but senior players as well. What would you like to see come September 2nd in the lineup?
Well, you're quite right. The older players, and there are quite a lot of them, who are very good tennis players in Bermuda, but who don't come out very often, not even for a Bacardi or a martini. But we want to get them out because we know they're there. Many of them play maybe once a week, and I'm going to try and put the full court press on them with David's help to make sure that they do come out and support the event and have a good time at the same time, because it is very much of a social angle also at the senior level, unlike at the other end of the spectrum, where people are very much more competitive and also not so interested perhaps in some of the after events.
Now, there's always been a senior tournament held here at Bermuda Gates, and it's always well attended, but one of the things, you see the game develop at the pace that the seniors play, which for me is very interesting. But it's interesting how the matchups go, where the ages, how you work the ages through. Take us through some of those categories of the ages, which you will have men, senior women, and then of course that, 100?
Well, yes, it's the 55 and older that you're talking about, the super seniors.
Right.
Of course, none of us admit to being in the super seniors. And at the very senior level, the super senior level, it's very much of a fun thing. And what I always like very much is I always meet people I haven't seen for perhaps even 12 months, who I used to see playing or play in some of the inter-club matches, and they get together and are competitive, but at the same time will have a very good time. Now, below that, obviously, we have the over 40s, and the over 40s are still more competitive. I guess maybe they're more agile. And those are the guys that will pair up for the doubles, for example, with the intent to win. And they're good players, and they'll give some of the top players even a little bit of a stretch sometimes. Maybe not the very top ones like David or Gavin, but they do give them a push. So those are there, and also we should mention that obviously we want the ladies also to be there as well. And they're very supportive. What do they say? Behind every successful man is a successful woman. And whether that applies to tennis, I'm not quite sure. David's probably better to answer that one. But we want both.
Well, David, the tournament starts at 18 and over because of the value of the sponsorship. But must be difficult for you playing, helping to arrange and all that. How do you stay focused on, and obviously you want to get as many of the top players involved as well?
By all means. I mean, at the end of the day, the more people that you have pushing each other, it's only going to benefit tennis in general. And we see this as another great opportunity, another tournament on the calendar for people to come out and push themselves to get more ranking points to be of that national sort of level in Bermuda.
Now, you're knocking on the door for number one. This is obviously a start to the season for you guys. How important is it for you to come out on the right end of winning a tournament?
Well, you always want to put your best foot forward. At the end of the day, it's been a long summer from a lot of different angles, and I know everyone's feeling it. I'm hopeful that everyone can come out and participate. And if I can be at the top of the mound on September 9th, then I'm all the better for it.
All right. Is there a ladies' field as well in the Open?
Most certainly. So we have singles, doubles, and mixed doubles in the Open category. And we're looking for everyone to come out, participate. The sponsors have been gracious enough to have a few cocktail receptions. So even if you're just a familial member, a friend of someone that's in the tournament, we're encouraging everyone to come out and take part.
You want to add something else?
Yeah, I think one other thing that perhaps sometimes puts people off with tournaments is that they have to be over quite a long period, over a whole week. And one of the themes that we're very much aware of is that we have to be flexible with some of the timing. So my message to those of you out there that think a week is too long to put aside, I quite agree with you, but we will be flexible. We will try and find the right time for you to play, and come and enjoy the Martini Bacardi tournament.
Jay, Bermuda was successful in their bid to host the 2018 World Street Bowl Hockey Masters Championships in Bermuda, Pembroke, Bermuda, at the PCC hockey rink.
Earl, I'll be honest with you. Before Islandstats started covering, I didn't have a clue that we had any such sport in Bermuda.
Right.
And well attended.
Yeah.
Well participated. And the competition is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, they are really serious about it. And over the short, probably 2 years, we're following it. Obviously you've been a lot closer.
Yeah.
But now to host the World Championship in 2 years?
In a year.
In a year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
I'm still trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still new to us here.
But it's a lot of, believe it or not, there's a lot of Bermudians that have gone to school in Canada who are now playing because that's what they picked up on when they were away. They played ice hockey, so a lot of them now playing roller inline, they call it, and street ball. So there'll be a lot of people with helping hands to make sure that this event, they're looking at 500 to 600 players coming to Bermuda.
And I'm just glad, over the years, they've been at PCC. They've taken advantage of that location because for a lot of years it went dormant.
Yeah.
For any sport,
right.
And it was once upon that was skating ring. It was so much activities to help the community out there. But now this has brought a lot of activity back around it, and just the community itself, and it keeps PCC, the memory of PCC, living on.
Indeed.
Open up a world of music at your fingertips and access millions of songs from free with D-Music, exclusively from Digice. With D-Music, you can stream and download songs and create playlists of your favorite artists to fit your lifestyle. Whether you're working out at the gym, getting ready for a Friday night, or just chilling at home, D-Music comes with 1 gig of free data to stream and download songs without it impacting your data usage. That's 32 hours worth of music. Visit us in-store or online to see how you can get D-Music today.
On behalf of One Communications, I would like to present Onayas Bascom with One Communications Player of the Week.
Thanks for that. Yes, I'd like to thank One Communications for sponsoring this award, and hopefully I could come back next week and pick it up again. Thanks for that.
Nice. You guys opened up a comfortable lead, but still work to be done. Who you have left to play?
I got Davonshire Rack, PAC, and Willicott's last game.
Yeah. So obviously you want to comfortably put yourself in another position. You got Davonshire Rack this weekend.
Yeah.
Where to? Let's
enjoy this show. Okay.
What do you think? Because of late they've been coming on, so they picked up a big victory over PHC the last outing. So what do you think you guys are going to need to do to kind of make sure you keep your momentum going?
I just think we just got to keep playing as a team. Stay focused. The job's not done yet. Davonshire Rack's probably going to come hard. They're looking for that second place spot because, I think we guys should take the first. But, yeah, we guys just got to stay united, keep pushing hard, and try to get the job done.
Now with 24 points lead, when do you guys start looking at what's possible for next season? Because obviously, if you get promoted, you're going to have to strengthen a little bit.
Yeah, well, we got a good youth setup right now. I mean, if a couple people are interested in coming down, you know what I'm saying, anyone, you can have a look. But not saying that anyone's just going to be welcome into the team, because we've got a good youth program coming through, and everyone's fighting hard right now to earn this division and get promoted into the Premier League.
All right, congratulations.
Thanks for that.
Well, Jay, this coming Saturday, you will have the opportunity to commentate the final round of the Western County Cup competition at White Hill Field. You anticipate a long day? See, remember how you got me the other day? So I got your back. Lorenzo, Jason's got to answer this question.
I've got things to do in the afternoon. No, but as you know, cricket is a funny game. And, depending on who bats first, will probably determine that time and issue. But no, it's for me. I'm anticipating the game because Southampton Rangers, the cup holders, will be taking on a very young team, Warwick Workman's. And you've seen over the years, Warwick Workman's now has been a bit of youth players to groom the youth players for them to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So you get to see a bit of the future, where Southampton Rangers has a lot of veteran players.
Yeah.
So that's, as a fan, you like to see that competition side of it. But just talking about the Western County in general, I mean, we need to see, it needs all the publicity it can get.
Yes.
Because to get it back to the days, number one, it used to be a 2-day
final.
I know.
Yep.
It used to be packed up there for the finals. I mean, big records from Jeff Richardson as a guest player, up to Arnold Mendes.
Yep.
Big scores, and I mean, Lord, we can keep going with all the names.
Yeah.
And it just seems like that was so long ago.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
But and that's the thing. So hopefully this is a start to start the Western Counties again. And we look forward to Saturday.
Yeah. Well, that's it for us here at the Digice Sports Show. I'm your host, Earl Basin, and
I'm Jason Ford.
Have a good day.
Stop bullshit.